I just got off a call and we were talking about the interview and talking about the questions that were asked in interviews. And I always find it so interesting to look at the questions that were typically asked in a general interview and how bad those questions are. They're the worst possible questions that anyone could ask, literally printed off from some website that says these are the top questions to ask in an interview, or maybe it's a fancy place like Google and they've written their own questions. But, generally speaking, the questions we're asked in interviews seem so odd, so nonsensical, so strange, right? And we try to give good answers to bad questions. Someone asked us a really stupid question like, tell me about yourself, which isn't even a question. It's some sort of weird statement or demand. Or they say, tell me your strengths and weaknesses. And people will say, well, my strength is that I solve problems and my weakness is that I procrastinate, as though solving problems isn't the definition of every single job. And procrastinating isn't something that every single person does in some way, shape, or form, whether it's your health or your sleep or your, calling someone that you're supposed to call, or even just cleaning your toilet. We all procrastinate something, right? And if solving problems is your whole thing, well, there's plenty of people whose dogs are pooping right now that you should probably go clean up their poop because you're a problem solver, right? Well, no, that's clearly not what you're trying to get hired for, unless you're a dog walker, in which case go get hired for cleaning up poop. It's great. Do it. There's plenty of people that like dogs and do that stuff. But I'm assuming if you're applying for a web dev job, that's not really what you're going for. So maybe we shouldn't be saying I solve problems and that I procrastinate, because if you're procrastinating and solving problems, maybe you're not even solving problems at all. So what do we say instead? Well, focus less on what you're trying to say at first and focus on the actual questions you're being asked. What are they actually asking us? What is the question behind the question? When they say, tell me about yourself, do they actually give a crap? Or are they just stressed out, don't know how to start the conversation or the interview off because they're not trained interviewers and they don't really even know how to interview, and they downloaded this list off the internet, or they asked it because that's what's been asked of them and they're nervous and they're, stressed out too? What they're really saying is not tell me about yourself. What they're really saying is, I don't know how to kick off this interview. Can you kick it off? When they say, tell me your strengths and weaknesses, they don't actually care about our strengths and weaknesses, our personal feelings about what we're good and bad at in the world, our personality tests and our Enneagram deep dives. What they want to know is, if I put you on this team, what tasks should I assign you? And what tasks should we delegate to someone else? What are the roles and responsibilities that you should have because you're good at doing them? And what are the roles and responsibilities we shouldn't give you, because giving them to you will mean that it'll get done slower or not as well? And so an example of this might be, personally, as a career coach, I do coaching. So if you want to head over to careertherapy.com and talk to me, we can schedule a free consultation. But the things that I'm good at are coaching people, being on a phone call with someone, talking to them face to face about their problems, pulling out insights, simplifying information, helping them overcome difficult things. I'm studying to be a therapist. I do all these different things because that's what I'm good at. What am I not so great at? Well, anytime I'm in a job where 80% of my duties are in a spreadsheet or something like that, it's not a job that I really want to be in, right? So I typically in an interview will say something like, I'm really good at the coaching aspect of my job, where I'm on the phone with people, matching their energies, mirroring them, going from one phone call where someone's crying to another phone call where someone's celebrating, and being able to make that transition really quickly in a 5-minute span. And maybe I'll even give an example and use the STAR method to back it up. And what I'm not as great at is maybe putting together predictive analyses about, if we have certain inputs and people apply to a certain number of jobs, how long will it take them to land a job? I'm sure someone can do that math. Someone can figure that out. And I can even help collect that data. And I'll say this in an interview. I can collect that data and I can give it to the teams that can analyze it and put together predictive models. But please don't make the predictive modeling my job. That's just not what I'm great at. Or maybe you're someone who's really extroverted and you're really good at getting people on the phone and talking to them about the product that you're selling. But maybe you're not so good at, I don't know, a lot of the back end stuff, or maybe you're really good at designing websites and being on the back end of those, but you're not so good at giving presentations to the C-suite. It's okay to not be good at things, and it's okay to be good at other things. We just need to make sure that what we're saying is helping the hiring manager place us in the right role, or adjusting the role to fit our strengths and weaknesses, or the things that we should be doing and the things that we shouldn't be doing. And if you want to think about it this way, it's more of like an 80-20, right? Use that little model. 80% of your job are the tasks that you want to be doing, that you're good at. 20% are the things that you might not be the greatest at, but you can still get them done. It's just not your strength, right? And so get out of this like high level thinking of problem solving and procrastinating, and get down into the nitty gritty of the role. These are the tasks I excel at. Every time I'm in any job, when they give me these things, I get it done like that. And these are the things that I'm not so good at. Anytime I'm in a job and they keep telling me to do these things, I mean, I can get it done probably with enough time and training and energy, but it's just not the thing that comes most naturally to me. And by doing this, you're actually helping the teams and helping the hiring manager place you in a role that's not only right for you, but is actually right for what they need as well. And if you're not good at the thing that is core to the role, maybe you shouldn't be in that role, and it's okay that they don't hire you. Just make sure that if you are good for the role, you don't give a weakness that makes you look bad at the role. So look through the job description and make sure you're not saying like, my weakness is the thing that's 80% of what this job is, because yeah, you're going to just discount yourself right off the bat. And this comes up in other things too, right? So what is the question behind the question? Just try and ask yourself that. And if you have any interview questions that you want me to break down in the comments, just put the questions in there and I'll say, here's the question they're really asking. And we can have a bit of a back and forth and get to the root of what you're really supposed to be saying in these interviews in order to come across successful and to get the job. Again, my name is Martin McGovern, Coach Marty, for those who are working with me. I'm the founder of Career Therapy and I do coaching. So head over to careertherapy.com if you want to work together. And I wish you the best in your job search. Wish you the best in your interviews. Go out and crush it. And let me know how you're doing. See you in the next video.